What's up guys, Joe here. Today we're going to do some stuff. First off, I want to say sorry, it's been a while since I posted a video. I've just been taking a little miniature break, trying not to get burned out, as this is just kind of a hobby right now. But hey, so I've gotten a lot of questions about the video where I replaced, you can see that I got the video playing right there, where I replaced the broken arm on my Mavic Mini. And the more specific question I've gotten is how to properly attach the spring-loaded hinge that opens and closes the arm. So today I'm not going to be doing any repairs. I'm just going to be doing a better job at explaining what I should have explained in my last video, which is how to properly install this spring so that your arm will open and, let me get that out of the way, open and close the way it's supposed to. All right, so the majority of my questions about this little guy has been, why is my drone wing not opening up and staying open and stuff like that? So this is a very strong spring. As you can see, I can't really turn it with my hand. It's super strong. And what I've recommended, which I'll show you right here, is to get a pair of needle nose pliers and hold that piece, and I can twist that black clip around, and now it's in the opposite position. So the way this spring works is, I don't know the exact angle, but let's just say, for instance, it rotates. It needs to rotate 180 degrees. But the spring itself actually rotates 190. It rotates beyond what it's supposed to. That way there is constant tension whether you have it opened or whether you have it closed. So that way the drone arm isn't just, like open and then just flopping around like that. Like, it has constant tension on it because that spring has a load on it the entire time, because it's not being able to fully open all the way. It's opening past that point where it wants to shoot the other way. But like, see, that's fully open. When you have your drone open, it's sitting about like that, just a few degrees off of completely open. That way it does have that load on the spring so that this arm stays forward instead of being able to move around like that. So the best way to realize which way you have this spring and to make sure you have it. So I have this, as you can see, I have the drone wing in the open position. And if you look inside there, you can see sleeve inside the actual arm itself is square. It's not round. There's a round hole. There's a square hole. And the spring on the small side, the metal side, is also square. It's not round. You see, it's got this metal housing that's square. So that square is going to fit inside that sleeve on the arm. And that's what's going to make the arm and the spring move together. This spring, this metal clip is going to sit the metal clip is going to sit inside the drone like that, just as you see on this other one right here, how the curved side goes into the body and then the flat side goes on the outside. So we've got this piece just like that. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that I have the arm in the open position. So the best way to do that is to grab it with my pliers. So if it's in the open position, that means my spring should be able to turn, my lower spring, this metal piece, should be able to turn that way, just as this arm turns. So I'll hold my black metal bracket and I'll try to turn. And you see mine's not turning. Let me show you. See, I'm trying to turn it that way. See, it's not wanting to turn. It's turning a little bit, but it's not wanting to go all the way. So that indicates that I have this in the closed position currently. Because if the arm was back like this, you would want that piece to turn counterclockwise to be able to open. So see, if I grab it and turn it, oh, this is hard to show on video. So I'm holding you see my metal bracket, I'm holding my metal bracket, and I'm able to turn that bottom spring counterclockwise. See, just like that. So now I know I have it in the open position because I've pulled it around to where it should be like that. Now this is the hard part right here. As you can see, this bracket is square with the flat edge of the metal bracket. The spring is square, is flush with the flat edge. And as you can see inside my wing, it is not. So what you're going to have to do when you're putting it in is you're going to have to turn that spring slightly like that so that it'll slide in. So that way it keeps, like I said, so that it's not able to wobble. It's keeping constant tension and holding that arm in place. So this is the best way to get that in there. And I'm going to try to show this on video. This is going to be really hard to do. What I do is I'm going to go ahead and slide my spring into that sleeve the way it needs to go. I've already tested it to make sure I have it in the open position, and I do. And I'm actually going to have to flatten out that dent I put in it. There we go. See, I just squeezed it back the other way, and now it's flat. I'm going to slide the spring into the square slot that it belongs into in the arm. There. All right, you see? Uh-oh. This is something you'll want to be careful of. I don't know if you can see down in there. So I've actually pinched the cable to the drone arm with the spring, pushing it down in there. I didn't make sure that. Luckily, this cable is protected by the mesh. So I just want to pull that out and make sure. See, now I'm all the way down to where the black plate is up against the frame of the drone. So I've got that hinge all the way in, and you can see right now, when I pull it back, it springs open. So I know I've got it put in the right way. What you're going to want to do after that, you have the 2 screw holes for the spring right here and right here. You want to take your tweezers and turn the bracket so that it lines up with the slot in the frame of the drone. And then I'll take the end of my pliers and I'll push down on that bracket just like that and pop it into place. Mine didn't go in for some reason, so we're going to have to look and see why. All right, so I didn't have the pin lined up properly. That was the issue. Basically all it is you have a little hole here. You have the little pin that at the end of the bracket that needs to slide in there. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to close the arm. There. You could also grab a little pry tool. I'm going to put the jimmy tool in there, get the metal bracket lined up properly, and then I'm going to try pushing down on it. See, and that time it slid right in. So it was easier for the pin to line up with it partially closed than it was with it partially open. You can see now right there, that pin is in, let's see, can I get closer? That pin is in the little metal hole, or in the little hole in the plastic frame. So that's locked in. You can see my black metal bracket is flush inside that little slot that's made for it. So now I have this completely installed, and you can see since I took the pliers and bent this bracket or this spring back and forth to realize which way it needed to go, now I have that spring in the proper location and it's opening and closing, so that way I can shut this thing down and take it on the go, or I can open it back up and fly it, and it's going to stay in either position. Since I have it installed, I'll go ahead and install the 2 black Phillips screws. You don't have to tighten these 2 black screws down very tight. In fact, if you do, you're going to strip the housing they screw into. All right, guys, as you can see, once you really study and figure out how that spring works, easy to understand which way it goes. Still kind of complicated to get it in, but all you really need is a little pry tool, a pair of needle nose pliers, pair of tweezers to get all this done. But I should have explained this in the previous video. Sorry, I kind of skipped over that step, but now you can see how it works and the easy way to test and make sure that you have the spring in the correct position before you try to put your drone back together. Stay tuned for my next video. It'll be out in 2 weeks. It is going to be the screen repair on an LG Aristo 5. So stay tuned for that. Please like and subscribe below. Let me know any more questions you might have about this video or any other video that I've made, or any videos you would like to see me make. I'm Joe. This is Joe Does Stuff. Have a good one.